Hello, good morning, everyone. Today's tutorial is going to be the making of this dress you're seeing here. Okay, I have three methods of doing this. I'm actually doing this for my final year students. I wanted them to understand it very well. Okay, so I decided to share with my online colleague, all right, on YouTube. Okay, so today's tutorial, I'll be doing the Bustier method, the spread and splash method, and also the basic bodice yes method. All right, so whichever one you which you can go ahead and use. All right, let's hit the class. So there I have my armhole, my bust points, my underbust, my waistline, and my allowance. And now the nipple to nipple I'm working with is 3.5 inches. Just use a random measurement, okay, because of this stitching. So if you are doing any one, you can use your own measurement for this. So I use the random measurements. All right, so now I'm going to take my normal bustier. I have a video on how to cut a bustier. I'll show you. I'll put the link below, but I'm going to still explain here. Okay, so I'll take 1 inch here and then 1 inch here. Connect it to my underbust measure line. And then I'll connect this one too. So this is the bust. This is the bust point. So I'm going to connect with my curve ruler. And then connect this one too. Okay. So once you connected this one, on this area I'm going to take 1.5 here, 1.5 here, and here I'll take 1 inch. So I'm going to connect it now not with a curved part, but with just straight and slanted. You can see how it is. So I'll just try to smoothen my curves. Just try and smooth it, all right? Okay, so I'll just put my measurement and then I'll cut it off, and then I'll take you to the main view. All right, you need to get this one. This will serve as our basic. All right, so now the bust I'm working with is 36 divided by 4. We have 9 inches. 9. So I'll just put I'll put 3 inches, normal 3 inches for my allowance. Then for the underbust I'm using is using 30 divided by 4. I have 7.5. I'll put 3 inches for my allowance, and then I'll put these 2 inches, okay? I'll put back 2 inches. And then whatever I have on my underbust, I'll just put it on my waistline, alright? So I'll connect it. So now to get our armhole area, the shoulder I'm working with is 16 divided by 2. I have 8 inches plus 1/2 inch for allowance. And then I'm going to check this dart. This dart is 2.5 here. So we'll just add it back. And then I'll take it this way. I'll put my small curve. Don't worry, all this curve, this one, we are going to alter it when we are through with cutting. Alright, then let's do the back side. Alright, so I'm going to cut out the back side. Now you know how we do it. From the first line, that's the first nipple to nipple line, I'll just trace out my back line, and then I'll show us how to get the picture we are seeing. Alright. So I'll set the back side aside. This is the back side now. Alright, so I'm going to finish with the front part. So someone will be wondering, why haven't she cut the neck part? I'm going to do that. Now we're going to start the main thing. So first of all, you should get the base, all right? So this is our base of that design you are seeing here. This is the base. So I'm going to grab my fabric and then I'll show you how to cut this out on the fabric. But before I do that, I think I will have to cut out again on my what. I'll have to fold it into two to cut it out on a what on a pattern paper before we take it to what to the fabric. All right, so recall you discover that I did that one on what I didn't fold the one I did. So I'm going to fold this paper into two and I'm going to add plenty of allowance on the side. All right, so I'm using the whole of this. There are three methods in cutting this dress, like I told us. So I'm going to explain the all three methods. The first is the bustier, the second is spread and splash, and the last one I'll be using the normal basic bodice. Okay, just stay tuned. How much should I minus from my off shoulder? I minus 6 inches from my off shoulder. All right, you can decide to minus whatever you want. For me, I did 6 inches. All right, so I'm going to trace this out, and all this remaining allowance, I'm going to add it to the work. So this is what you should do. Remember, this is our base. All right. So I'm going to draft this out. I'm going to trace it out. All right. You trace it out this way. So I've been able to trace it out. All right, if you notice the front of that the upper body, the front of that dress you're seeing, the neck was very, very open, and like I said, I minused 6 inches from my now if you recall, you discover that I have not put my neckline. So I'm going to put my neckline now. So since we minus 6 inches from off shoulder, the neckline I'm going to use the whole, everything. All right, so from here I'm going to open up the work. All right, we open it up from the center part. So you see, I'm going to connect this with a straight line to 11 inches, and then from there I will like open everything up. So I'll place my ruler this way. Okay. So I'm opening everything, all right? And then on this area, I'm going to also curve this area too. I'm going to also curve my armhole area too. So we look for a way to curve it also. Alright, let it not look, we don't want it looking sharp, so we are curving it also. So I'm going to cut this out. Because if you look at the center has nets on it. So curve it. And then here, I'll also curve it. But this time, I won't stop here. I'm going to add, because if you look at the down part of that cloth, it was somehow draped. So I'm going to add a lot of draping allowance on the down part. Okay, but first of all, I'll do it on this one. I'm going to leave this one, I'll do it later. I'll do this one first. So let's cut out this one. So I'm going to add my draping allowance. Draping allowance is going to be 5 inches. I'll add draping allowance of 5 inches here. Okay, and then here I'm going to add just 1.5 here. All right, so try to connect this to this place, and then this is how I'm going to connect my drape now. I'll take it this way. and then I'll connect this part. Okay, so continue it. So please label, okay? Let me label it. This is the down part, so I will not forget. All right. Now, someone will be wondering, how do we do this? Now, we are going to start draping. We drape this way, and then we keep draping. You see, that's the reason why we have to add that draping allowance there. We drape, drape. You can see, and we drape and drape. Alright, so don't worry, let's step it and keep this aside and continue with the upper side. Now this upper side, I'm going to cut it from here. Alright, so for this part, you're going to add your allowance on this area, this part. You add the allowance here. So I'll put it this way. Okay. On the center part, that's where you should add your allowance. That's your draping allowance. So you see how I slanted it. So here I took 1 inch here, and here is about 2.5. So just slant it. So we are going to cut exactly what we have here. Okay, so this is it. Remember, on the side, on the center side, that's on the cleavage area, that's where you should add your allowance, your draping allowance. So I'll just try and curve out this part. Okay. So we have the two parts now. Alright. You can see it's the two of them. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut out our facing, our gums there. So I'm going to cut out my light facing. I'm actually using a light gums there to do the, I'll be placing this on the main fabric. Then on the lining on the fabric, you can decide to use gums there. Alright, like I told you, in this first method, I'll be using just light gums, the very lightest, the lightest one, but I will doubling it for the main fabric, all right? And I will use foreign cup on it. And then for the second method, I'll be using still the light stay, and on the lining, I'll be using normal gum stay with what? My wadding. You know, I usually use my wadding for padding. All right, so we'll do these two methods. So you choose the one you want. Remember, like I said, I'm making this tutorial for my final year students. I usually make this for them. I make I'm making this tutorial for them so that they can choose the one they prefer. Okay, so that's the reason why I am giving options. So you either use this one or you use the other one. So whatever one that suits you. My light facing, you can see I doubled it. All right, so at this point you can decide to add your breast pad. All right, that is if you're not working with a foreign cup. Because I'm working with a foreign cup, that's why I'm not putting any pad on it. All right, so if you think you can't afford a foreign cup, you want to use your what's it calling it, your normal breast pad, of course you can. All right, but foreign cup will help your ministry better. Alright, so go and iron it, and then I'll come back, we'll join. We're going to finish joining. After I finish joining, we will now drape it. Alright, but before we do this, if you look at this, the upper bodice of that dress, after the draping, there's something like a band. Alright, so let's go do the iron and then we'll come back. Alright, so the first method I showed you, you can use that method. There's also another method of doing this, and it is called the spread and splash method. So with this, I'm going to show you how to spread and also splash. Alright, so right now I'm going to just get the line, the bust. This is the bust here, this is the main bust. So I'll just draw it straight. Remember, we have our allowance, so let's assume that this part is the allowance and all that. So what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to draft out some lines. I'll stop somewhere at take it up. So I'll be splashing to this place. Okay, I'll just draft only 4 lines. I'll draft 4 lines. Okay, so these 4 lines, and then this one too. I'm going to drag all the lines to that place. I'll make this one 3. Okay, 2 and 3. All right, so now I'm going to cut. Okay, let's take it up. So with all these lines now, I'm going to spread it. And I'm going to cut this way. Just make sure you don't cut to the last line, alright? So this is what you should do here. It is called spread and splash method. Or splash and spread. Alright, that is just it. So if you don't want to use the first method, you can use this method. Okay, so I'll set this aside, and then like I said, let's take it to the beginning. Alright, so I just felt I should just show you 2 ways of doing it, so that you can decide to do whichever one you like. Okay, remember, this you should be cut on fold. This particular one should be cut on fold. Hope you remember. Alright, okay, it should be cut on fold. Please don't forget. And you can decide to do your curve first on this particular area. Remember the curve you did on this part. Let me get the paper. Let's use this particular one. Let's use this. Let's use this one that we've put the curve on. Let's use this one. So I'm going to draft it. So from here, I'll go 1 and 2, and then this place too, I'll do the same thing. 1 and 2. Okay, let's add extra one here. 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 Okay, so I'm going to chop this off. Remember, if you are cutting, don't cut to the end. I'll stop it there. stop this one there too. Now this is, I have to separate it. Remember in the picture it's separated. The center is having something like a net. Okay, so we're putting a skin net there. So I'll just set this aside. I will use this particular one to finish what I'm doing. Now you can now do what? You can now splash it, alright? If you have a masking tape, you can use a masking tape to hold them together. Alright, so I'm going to get a fabric. I'll get another fabric. This is leftover fabric I used for work. I'm going to also use this. Remember, I'm trying, like I said, this particular tutorial is for final year students, graduation students of my fashion school. So they'll be graduating this December. This is one of their practicals. I wanted to show them how to do it because of time. So we sometimes I teach them this. I started this online thing so that they won't be skipping class, and for those of them that are not always around at the workshop. So that's the reason why I chose this online class for them. But I decided to share it with my online students. So I'll cut. So I'll spread. You see how I spread this? Please, if you are spreading, just still remember, make sure you can still remember what you just spread, alright? So I'll cut that one. Alright, so I hope you can see the spread and splash. So this is it. Now this is the bust side. Okay? This is also the bust, the other side of the what? The bust. Alright, so now what you're going to do is this. I'm going to set this aside. If you look at the other one we did, this place was somehow curved. So I'm going to add the curve around this area. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add the curve this way. Okay? Because that place should look curved. Or better still, you can leave it that way, but I want them curved. Alright, so this is it. Okay, so what you're going to do now is just go ahead and start what? Pleating. If you are sewing yours, you pleat this way. Hope you can see what I'm doing. You can see. Pleats. Pleats. See, it's already forming what we want. You can see it's already forming. And make sure you know you have your allowance also. It's already forming. But I'll just go ahead and put my my interfacings on this one. I'll show you two methods, so you choose the method, the easiest one you want for your what, for yourself. All right, so I'm going to notch these two areas so that I will know where to join my cup to, my two bustiers to. All right, so make sure they are equal there, so that when you are joining, you will not get confused on when to join from. All right, so I'll go and put my all the stays on it. I also add my light wording. I'll be using light wording on this one, and on the other one I'll be using a foreign cup. So at the end you should know the one that works best for you and the one you like. All right, so so all you need is to draft a basic bodice. Okay, so I'm going to draft out a basic bodice. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. So I have a video on how to draft a basic body. You just go and watch it. And I know you are all final students. The reason why I'm doing this is because of my final students. Okay, they'll be graduating soon, so they know how to do basic bodies. But if you're watching this, you're a beginner, you don't know how to cut a basic bodice, I'll be putting the link below. Let's go and watch it. Now I'll be using a shoulder of 14 inches. I'll connect it to the armhole. I'll connect my armhole. Okay. Now if you're looking at the picture, there is an off shoulder anyway, but I know why I started from there so that you will know how to connect yours. So I'll be using 7 inches. I'll be connecting with 7 inches. I'll connect with 7 inches. Now the nipple to nipple I'm working with is 3.5. Okay, I'm not making a bustier, just watch. I'm not making a bustier, just watch what I'm going to do. So with this, I'm going to use it to connect what my neckline. All right. So from here, I'll put my ruler this way, okay? Because I'm trying to connect the neckline. So let's see where I connected from. I'm connecting it from 5 inches, okay? Then here is 7, then here is 5. So I'm trying to connect to make make it look very curved. Then I'll take it into the armhole. I hope you are seeing it. Sorry, I just wish we saw it. Now I'll just cut it this way. I'm not putting any measurement because I'm going to drape. While I'm draping, I'll put my measurement, all right? So now I have 2 here. One will act as my lining, while the other part is going to act as the main fabric. So I'm going to like open it up from this place. I'll open it up a little. So this one will act as my lining, while the other one will act as sorry, let me connect it well. I'm trying to trace it well, sorry. Now at this point, you should have your lining and your main fabric. So this is how it's going to look like. But I would want it to have a little more V around here. So I'm going to add the V. Just slants, small slants, okay? And then into the armhole. So this is what we actually wanted. Now I'm going to start draping. If I would advise you work with a stronger fabric, okay? This is what I sew, so that's what I'm using. So work with a stronger fabric. We're going to start draping. All right, I'll take it to my mannequin. I'll drape and then I'll show you how to drape it actually. All right. So we're going to start draping. Now we are going to place it this way, okay? And I'm going to pin. I'll show you how to, if you don't have this mannequin, I'll show you how to drape with your what's it calling it? You can drape without the mannequin, please. So don't cry. I know some of you will start shouting, hey, When will I get married
Before you
to?
start draping, make sure you have your
February.
stay attached on it first. And then once you are through, you can now attach your
God,
foreign cup to
right.
this. All right. Make sure there's a
Okay,
stay.
so we'll stop
Your
it
foreign, yeah,
here.
your gum stay
So
is
I'll
on
try
it.
to
I
pin,
don't know the kind of stay you are using, but please use
right. So we are going to start
a
draping.
fabric
So
that
you can
is
see it's
not
just a
this
basic
light.
body. It's very,
All
very
right.
easy. But you
So
can also
that
use
it
a
will
bustier to do
help
this. Eh?
also to give
I'll
your work
also give you a
structure.
video on how
You
to
can
use a
see that the
bustier to
main
do
one
this.
has some structure on
But
it.
in
All right.
case,
So
I think we should
um,
start with a
put your
what?
gum stay on your
We should start
fabric, and then
with a basic body.
um once you're through with putting your gums there, I would advise you also turn up your work with a lining. All right, you cut your material exactly like this, then you turn up with your what, with your lining, and then you can now start what, draping. So once you are through, and once when you are turning up your work, you can attach your foreign cup at once, and then you bring it and start what, draping. All right, but if you think it's going to be hard for you, you can drape your lining and also drape your fabric. um I'm going to be showing you next week how to do it, all right? But right now, I'm just trying to show you how to do the draping. Okay, next week, the tutorial I'm going to post either maybe on Saturday or Tuesday. I'm going to show you how to drape, how to attach your cup, and all that. All right, we've come to the end of the tutorial. All right, in this tutorial, I gave you 3 ways of doing this, okay? And so in our next tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to sew all of them, all right? Okay, if you don't know how to do the draping, or if maybe you don't have your mannequin, I'm going to show you there how to what? Drape with your machine, all right? That's the reason why I gave these three ways of what? Of doing this style. All right, okay, I'm going to see you again in my next class. Please subscribe if you've not subscribed, and also give us a thumbs up if you find the tutorial very, very helpful. I'll see you again in my next class. My name is Cynthia. Bye.